la la.
So my heart is probably beating just as much as his leg was shaking. So you have to forgive me. Does that work? Yeah? But there was a guy who actually, he's not here at the moment. I don't know if he was here, but never met him before, but he sat next to me and I said, oh my God, I'm literally shitting myself. And he said, just be yourself. So that's what I'm going to do. So Nick kind of asked us all to talk a bit about a theme or a personal story. So I was thinking really what could be, I have such a long story, so I don't want to bore you with it too much, but I was thinking what I could sort of focus it down onto. So I was going to talk about connection, because connection to me has been something that has been a really big part of my recovery from an eating disorder. So that's where I should begin. So throughout my 10 minutes, I'll sort of filter in a few stories and things as to why connection has kind of really helped me. But so a bit about me. I'm in my 30s now, and I was diagnosed with anorexia when I was about 17, so a long time ago. 4 years ago, I was really fortunate, and I went to a treatment center in California after living pretty much my entire 20s and teens, sort of dipping in and out of treatment, really struggling, really sort of being an existing anorexic, because they were. I have a good job, a really good job that I love, but I was never really fully functioning. I went to university. I don't know how I survived at university, but I do remember, like, I lived in a flat, and I used to go, there was a WH Smith where you could have all your pick and mix, and I would just go and eat boiled sweets and hot Ribena and get myself through uni like that, which was pretty sad, really, really sad. And then, so I managed to go through university, and I had all the characteristic traits of being a perfectionist and like, I've got to do well, I've got to get through uni. So I functioned and I got through, and I came to London and I got a job at the BBC, which is all I ever wanted to do. Part of it because I probably wanted to please my dad, because I was a really good people pleaser, and he was like, yeah, my daughter works for the BBC. That's so good. I think it was more for him than for me, but I do have a good job and I love it. But I was just not really like loving life. In fact, I hated life. I would wake up each day and I think, how on earth am I going to get through today? I didn't really have many great relationships, and when you come to London, all you want to do is like feel like you fit in, and I just didn't. And it's like, food is such a massive part of your life. Like, you know, when people say, do you want to come out for a drink, or do you want to go for dinner? I was like, well, could we just like meet for tea or something? Or like, is this all right? Is it? Yeah, it's fine. And I was like, oh, but I really want to go. I really want to see you guys. But oh my God, I was so scared about the food and the drinks that I just omitted so many aspects of my life. And that became more and more isolating. I didn't have boyfriends. I had lots of one-night stands, I suppose, but I didn't really have anyone that I really connected to. And I don't know, I had relapses. I mean, I was in treatment, but I wasn't really deemed ill enough on the NHS. I remember one time I had like my old Peugeot, and I was referred by my GP to go to an inpatient unit in North London. And I drove up there, and I was really nervous, and I sat at the reception, and there was a lot of girls like on drips, and I sat there and I thought, fuck, I'm not this ill, like I'm just not thin enough. And when I went in, the woman who did a tick box exercise with me and kind of reaffirmed that I wasn't, and she said, well, I could probably offer you like half an hour every 6 weeks. And I came out and I thought, oh, brilliant, right, so you don't think I'm ill enough, so I'm really not ill enough. So I embarked on getting sicker and sicker. And really it got to, I think I was like 28, and I just woke up one day and I thought, oh, I just can't do this anymore. I either want to die or I'm going to have to sort this out. I felt like I'd hit a few rock bottoms, but that was probably it. And I just thought, what am I going to do? I've wasted my entire 20s. Am I going to waste my 30s? So my therapist at the time was a guy, and he met this woman in America who set up a treatment center. And long story, it cost thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds to go there. And I don't come from a rich family. And amazingly, my family did a lot of charity fundraising for me. And then with a friend, he gave my mum enough for me to go for 6 weeks. So I flew off to America, which was probably I don't know, I don't even know how I made it. I remember not eating on the plane and thinking, this is the last time I can't not eat, because when I go in there, I know I'm going to have to eat, which is like the craziest thing, but you always do that when you're like, no, you're going to have to give up something. Anyway, so I went there, and I just cried my way through the first few weeks, and it got to about third week, and they said, I really think your daughter's like a bit iller than you probably thought. So my mum eventually had to sell her house to keep me there for 6 months, and it's a sacrifice that no parent should ever have to make, and something that I will never ever forget. But really what they taught me over there was something that I'd never really been taught over here, and it was the power of connection. And the story that really kind of reaffirmed this for me was we used to have to eat. There was like 6 of us at any one time, and we used to have to eat around a meal table. And I would, probably because I wanted attention, I would just be in my head. I would like cry through my food, and I just made such a scene. And it was really hard because outside of the table, I was quite a fun person. I had a bit of a personality that was starting to come out. And Katie, one of the girls, we like got on really well, but she'd obviously found this really difficult, me being at the meal tables, like crying. And she took it to the therapist and said, I want to talk to Laura in group about this. And anyway, so one day they said, right, we're going to have a group session, and Katie's got something she wants to say. And she basically was really brave, and she just sat and said to me, she said, like, Laura, I really love you, like, I really do love you, but I really hate you at the same time. I can't bear you at the dinner table, like, you are a pain in the arse. Like, all the focus is on you, you're crying, like, we're all, like, really finding this difficult, but outside of the room, I really like you, and it's conflicting. And I just thought, oh my God, like, I really want to be liked, but I must be, this is not cool. And they taught me that always choose the relationship over the food. And for the whole time of my life, I'd always chosen the food over the relationship, and that meant I'd missed out on so much. And that is probably the most powerful story that made me think I need to start engaging at the table with everyone around me, with my peers. And slowly but surely, the staff started to ignore me. They started to ignore my tantrums and my crying. I started to engage in the games. We used to have to play these games at the table, and I was like, but no one will think I'm ill enough if I'm not struggling, if I'm not showing how ill I am and how hard this is for me. Actually, eventually, bit by bit, I started to realize that actually the power of being with people and connecting with people was more powerful than my eating disorder. And slowly I started to forget about crying and just have fun. And that how I was outside of the meal table started to happen at the meal table. And I share this story quite a lot because it doesn't really sound very much to you, but it means so much to me because I've taken it home with me. And when I came back from America, I just really realized that actually the power of like connecting with someone, just even here, like never met any of you, but some of you might not have met each other, but we're all in it together, and just being in isolation is really miserable. And even that guy Neil, I don't know if he's here, he's gone, but he just has helped me just by standing up here and being myself. And when I came back about 4 years ago, about a year and a half ago, my boyfriend said to me, what was it that you really needed when you were ill? And I said, I just felt so alone and so disconnected and isolated. And so that's partly why I created what I have, which is Jigsy. You might have seen a bit on the leaflets, but it's kind of a community for carers as well as sufferers, but it's based on not all you see on Instagram, which is, transformation bodies or like foods and what I'm eating now. It's about sort of everybody, whether you have an eating disorder or not. You all have something, and I didn't want people to feel alone. So when you go on here, you see that, we all have something that we relate to. And even if you've heard 4 of the speakers here, I'm guaranteed you'll go home and you're related to someone, because I have here. And it's about sharing that. Love that. So it's basically my message is about maybe go home from here today and just connect with someone that you haven't connected to for a while. It could be someone that you think about, but you think, oh my gosh, I haven't actually spoken to them for a while. Or maybe someone here that you've not met before, but just go up to them and just talk to them, because you just don't know how you make that person feel inside. And I thank Neil, I keep mentioning my mate Neil, but he just has really helped me just to be myself, because I was so fucking nervous. And it flows on to my song. Actually, the song that I chose, I've changed it 3 times I sent Nick, this one. And actually the last one was because today I couldn't think of the name of it. So I messaged my friends in California, and I was like, Natalie, we used to play this song in the car, like all the time in America. And it just made me so happy. And so I just FaceTimed her as I was leaving the flat today, and I was like, Natalie, I'm going to do this talk, and I just found this song and it reminds me of you. And it was just another connection. I just thought, like, I haven't seen her. I saw her like 2 years ago, but we still speak all the time, and it was just amazing. And so this song is for Natalie and for me. We used to like drive around LA and like forget about our eating disorder and actually how fun life could be. So yeah, thanks for listening to me.